That's the way that Libya was ruled for the last 42 years. Libyan people had tried to voice, and they voiced their opinions, and they tried to tell the world long time ago, many and time again, but unfortunately Britain didn't want to listen, America didn't want to listen, Ireland didn't want to listen either. They all kept happy as long as he's supplying them with what they need and giving them what they want. They turned a blind eye to all the crimes he committed. And the crimes he committed weren't just crimes against Libyans, against the entire humanity. Recently, the Libyan people had enough, and they started their uprising. The uprising started, by the way, by a lawyer who had been defending the people or the parents of those who were executed in the jail, the 1,200 people that were executed 12 years beforehand. And in fact, initially, the Libyan government just denied anything to do or never wanted to mention this case. Slowly, you know, people kept at them until they proved that it did happen. And a number of the people were arrested who actually the parents of those prisoners who were executed. And they were about to be executed themselves, when at the same time some criminals who are real criminals who were judged to be executed, they were released. So the real criminals are released, the innocent people are to be executed, and this individual lawyer, you know, decided that was enough. And on the 15th of February, he was arrested. And the parents of all the prisoners came out, and they pushed their way into the Department of Justice, feeling that this is really the end of the situation. And they had forced the Department of Justice to release him on the 16th, on the next day. And that was the first kind of time that the Libyan people really came out in a very strong and forceful manner against the Department of Justice in the city of Benghazi. And when the solicitor was forced to be released, or actually the Department of Justice was forced to release him, I think the people got energized, and the planned rising was on the 17th, on the next day. So it probably was a good thing that it happened, that more people got the power to come out on the 17th. And it lit from that day, 17th of February, and it's still going on until today. It started in Benghazi and soon spread to the city of Derna and caught up in the city of Al-Bayda. And most of these cities are on the eastern part of Libya. Possibly, many people wonder why it did happen on the eastern part of Libya. And because the eastern part of Libya, where most of the oil is excavated from, and it has been the part that has been against Gaddafi most, and Gaddafi used this system for the last 40 years. Like, if he comes into a city and people don't come out to support him, he actually takes it out on the town. So he cancels any projects that have been built, he cancels road projects, any sewage systems. And so the cities in the eastern part of Libya have suffered over the last 40 years from lack of investment, lack of building. They're living in a situation which is only comparable to, you know, the worst countries in the world, road-wise, communication-wise, schooling, hospitalization. Most Libyan people, when they need treatment, there isn't sufficient treatment. They go to Tunisia or Egypt or Jordan. In most of the health organizations in Tunisia and Jordan, they actually make their money on the Libyans coming in, the patients who come in for treatment. when they could have had some of the best hospitals. We have so many doctors. There are 250 Libyan medical specialists, doctors in Ireland. There's 5,000 Libyan doctors in the UK. There are enough doctors, and they are of top speciality. There are Libyan scientists, engineers. They could have made the country much better. But Gaddafi was not interested in that. He wasted the resources of Libya. Libya's income is $98 billion a year. And that money is wasted. Nobody in Libya can argue where is that money going to, or where is it being spent on. Every one of his children has 35 billion in his or her own private accounts. Libyan people still, a lot of them live below poverty standard in Libya and abroad. A lot of Libyans have left the country. They're not economic migrants, but mostly it's a freedom of opinion. There's no freedom of opinion. All newspapers that had existed at the time were cancelled or closed down. There are only 2 newspapers issued by Gaddafi and Gaddafi's team. The television stations are fully controlled by Gaddafi, and he's been systematically brainwashing the population of Libya for the last 42 years. We knew that. Our brothers in Egypt knew that, and in Tunisia, and all the Arab countries, and all around the world. But we're still, the big blame goes onto the United Nations and the bigger powers who could have maybe helped or done something about it. Every time they nearly try to solve the situation, they all back down. And mostly, we believe it's because of oil. Thank you very much.